welcome everybody to a new season of the ASL. I am Nyoken, and of course joining me is the one and only Scan. You excited for the new season, dude?
I'm so excited to see the first group of this round of 24, and we are looking at this MC. She is saying this is ASL Season 14, Season 14 round of 24 Group A. Previous season we have seen Light showing absolutely dominant skill of a Terran vs Protoss matchup, and she's also saying stuff about the ASL Season 14 qualifier. Lots of Terran players tried to climb up and made it into Season 14 round of 24. Some of the Terran players did get eliminated, and some of the players did make it in. And she says she would like to introduce us the four players here: Mini, Oregon, Best, and Sacsri. How are you doing, Mini? It's been a long time to see you playing in an ASL qualifier and you made it in. How do you feel? So since you have not played the ASL qualifier for a long time, was there any feeling that you felt something uncomfortable, that you might get eliminated? And he says it's kind of felt something new, that he hasn't played the qualifier for a long time. And it also, he used to sleep in the morning and wake up at the daytime, but now he had to play the ASL qualifier, so he had to wake up in the morning and play the qualifier. So he has the motivation that he wants to climb up higher and make it into a seeded player again, because he does not want to wake up in the morning. And Oregon, how do you feel standing in this group stage? And he says it's kind of something feeling new. So Oregon got eliminated on the day 1 qualifier, but he made it in day 2. Did you feel something nervous of that game? So Oregon is saying he felt something exhausted in that day. He felt very tired, but he's glad to made it into round of 24 in the day 2 qualifier. How do you feel of this game number 1 that you will be playing against Mini? So there's a meme of the shield battery of that Mini always puts down the shield battery against Terran, and Oregon was the victim of that game, and he kind of wants to pay him back. And what do you think about the game number 1 against Oregon? How are you gonna be playing? And Mini says Oregon is the type of player who likes to play aggressive in the early stage of the game, and also solid, but in the late game potential he kind of falls behind. But Mini is also a player who likes to play aggressive in the early stage of the game and falls behind the late game potential. So it's gonna be an exciting game for Mini. And how do you feel, Best? And Best is saying it was not easy to make it into the ASL round of 24 in the day 1 qualifier, because there's lots of strong players. Lots of strong players are staying there and had to play against them. So it wasn't quite easy. So in the previous season, you probably have a feeling that you could have shown something more in that round of 16 where he got eliminated. But what is your goal in this season? And Best is saying every first step is very important. in a tournament. So best wants to play something nice in the first game, and how he feels about it of this ASL Season 14, and whether he wants to climb up higher or not. And Sacsri.
아니 이 본선 무대를 살펴보면 지난 시즌 24강과 종족이 같더라고요. 프로토스 2명에 테란 1명. 이렇게 경기를 펼치게
So Sacsri from previous season,
조에 대한 생각을 좀 들어볼까요?
you were in a group of 1 Zerg, 2 Protoss, and 1 Terran, and it's also the same scenario of this ASL Season 14. What do you think about this? What do you think about this ASL Season 14? How do you feel? And Sacsri says, so he had prepared of the previous season but did not work out so well, and also he's having the same scenario, so he kind of wants to not having that much of pressure as like a last season. He wants to play something comfortable, something maybe stylish of this round of 24.
어떻게 때릴지 조금 느낌이 온다라는 느낌인가요?
So Sacsri is saying he had a lot of pressure from previous season, but this season he wants to play something new. And we are going to be moving into ASL fans question, I believe.
온라인에서만 강한 도제욱인가 이런 이야기를 듣다가
Okay, let's hear what the question is. Well, I guess we don't have the banner to see. Okay, the question was, okay, there's a banner. So it's been a long time that you have not seen the audience because of the pandemic, the coronavirus situation. And how do you feel about seeing the audience in this round of 24? He feels very excited. So Oregon is saying he's doing the commentary of the other content, like the race war and stuff, and he's gonna be having some excitement of this round of 24 because of the audience are watching.
누가 16강에 가도 이상하지 않을 조다라는 평가가 또 있습니다. 각 분들에게 좀 여쭤보고 싶네요. 본인을 제외하고 어떤 선수가 또 16강에 올라갈 것 같은지. 우리 이혜훈 선수의 답변을 좀 먼저 들어볼까요?
Sacsri, who's gonna be making out of this group as a first player? So Sacsri, and he says he thinks Mini and Best, they're the two players who are gonna be making out of this group easily.
진심이 아니라는 뜻으로 받아들여도 될까요?
Are you being honest of this answer or reply of this question? And he says he's being honest. And what is your thought of this question? A lot of fans probably expected him to make it out of this group easily, but previous season he got eliminated in a round of 16 easily. So he's kind of feeling nervous, having the pressure because the fans are watching. He's having some feeling that it's gonna be somewhat uncomfortable to play out this best of 1 series, because best of 1, lots of players have like a very strong strategy to maybe take him down or whatnot. So he thinks Best will be making out of this group easily. Best is saying, even if Mini is saying like that, he's probably gonna be making out of this group easily. So just ignore his interview.
2%면 많이 쳐준 거거든요. 제가 봤을 때 그래가지고 저도 올라갔고 이렇게인데.
So Oregon is saying, yeah, probably Mini is gonna be the one making out of this group easily, and he's pretty much having those percentage of these 3 players: Oregon, Best, and Sacsri. Oregon is 10%. 10% chance making out of this group. Best has 70% and Sacsri has 20% making out of this group. So that's his expectation.
나기 시작하면서 또 현재 굉장히 마음가짐에서 많은 좀 달라짐이 있었을 것 같다.
So there's lots of StarCraft University content been going on.
어떠신가요, 변현재 선수는?
And is there any difference being in a team or not being in a team? And Mini is saying when he was in the team, one of the university team, he's kind of having those feeling, those teammates are rooting for him, cheering for him, and supporting for him, and those kind of stuff are very helpful for him. And Sacsri, you're also in one of the team CP. Did you get any support from your teammates? And Sacsri is saying that CP has university battle content today, so he could not get any support from them, but he did help them out to win the match of the university battle.
도재욱 선수와 임진묵 선수는 바스포드 대학 또 같은 대학에서 활동하고 계시는데 준비는 어떻게 또
So Oregon and Best, you guys are in the same team, Basford.
저는 그냥 어제 잠깐 저도 이제 대학교 생활을 하다가 어제 김정우 선수랑 윤수철 선수
So he asked effort,
잠깐 했습니다.
effort, Gamo, and one more player. I forgot the name, and they helped him out. So Best is saying recently he had some sad moments, so he wasn't streaming and he wasn't participating all those university content or team house and stuff. But he wants to say the positive side of being in a team, that teams are always there and supporting players and rooting for them, and it's very helpful for everyone. Any last word before we go into the game number 1? So from previous season, he hasn't showed a nice result of that ASL Season 13, but he wants to show something better result of this ASL Season 14 Oregon, and he said pretty much the same stuff. Sacsri, he wants to say something entertaining game. Mini says he will be making it into round of 16 easily. And thank you for the interview. And that is the Ask ASL event. And if you guys ask a question on the posting a comment, and if your comment gets selected, you get the ASL mini fan. And we'll be muting the sound because we will be uploading on the YouTube later on. So yeah, that was a very nice interview.
Yeah, thank you for the interview, Scan. And unfortunately for Piano, I'm gonna have to agree with his assessment of his chances of getting out. I recently watched a video, I think it was Rush versus Mini, and Rush called Mini the Terran versus Protoss authority. And this guy, his PVT, I mean, is just ridiculous right now. He's had a lot of insane games, and I don't really see Piano having a good shot versus him. Do you think that it's going to be Mini and Best getting it out of this group? Because it seemed like that's what he was saying.
Well, I haven't seen what the maps are going to be. Oh, look, I think that is Hero in the front, and some other players and some other the university teammates. Oh yeah, so I think it's going to be depending on the map. If it's going to be played on 2-player map, of course Oregon is going to be having some pain in the ass for sure. And we're going to be taking a look at the schedule. That's the qualifier happened in July 23rd and the 24th. The main stage starts on today, August 9th to October 9th, Sunday. That is going to be the final day. And round of 24. Of course, the first 2 games are going to be butter. And the winner and losers match. 3 maps are going. One of the maps are going to be selected from those 3 maps. Odyssey, Allegro, and Neo Alkanoid. And the decider match is going to be one of the 3 maps: Nemesis, Sylphid 3, Vermeer.
Yeah, so you were talking about maps. Tell us a little bit about the new maps. We have Arkanoid, which is an old map, but it's making a comeback. We've got Nemesis, which is completely new. It reminds me of Blockchain, kind of. And then we've got Odyssey. What do
Odyssey.
you think about these maps?
Well, I personally do not like to play on butter because the tile set is all kind of like an orange color and it's very hard to see the red dot on the mini map. But I heard that the map is kind of somewhat balanced. But Odyssey, it's kind of like it reminds me of what's the map? Overwatch, the two-player map Overwatch, but different tile set. And
Really?
yeah, and Nemesis is one of the map. Kind of reminds me of what's the map? It was used in the season 7 or 8, the blockchain.
Blockchain?
Yeah, blockchain. Ooh, look
I'm
at that.
I'm surprised that you said it reminds you of Overwatch because I played one game on here, and that back base that you have, like there's this little wall that only workers can get through, right?
Yes.
It makes it feel like this base is almost undefendable for Terran. I got very lucky in a show match versus Hyun that he ended up not attacking this base, but how do you think Terran's going to be able to defend that back base?
Well, I don't think the Terran players are going to be taking that expansion easily in the early stage of the game because, I mean, like you said, the wall that only workers can walk through, I think that expansion only can be taken in a late game potential where you have like the 3 base, 4 base, and a split map scenario where you can destroy the neutral building at the center of the map where you can actually enter into your back expansion, the behind expansion. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of that map on Odyssey.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a tough map for Terran, in my opinion. I'm imagining, I'm hearing Artosis's voice in my head right now. How Zerg's going to have instantly 3 bases with 3 gas. You can't do anything about it. I feel like this is going to be a nightmare map. I don't expect to get for it to get picked, but maybe it will get picked. I'm not too sure. We're getting a review of our group today. As we stated, it's mini best. Sacsri and Oregon. You can see the tiers here. Oregon at the bottom, Sacsri tier 3, best tier 2, which is surprising because he's such a good player. And of course, mini tier 1. This guy's absolute madman. I think for sure he's going to make it out of this group. Even though Oregon doesn't think he's got a good shot or Sacsri's got a good shot, he's really predicting mini or best. What I'm thinking is if mini versus best actually happens, remember last season, Mini just humiliated the hell out of Best. And I think if there's another humiliating loss to Best, his mindset could go down the gutter. And I think somebody like Sacsri could definitely take him out because Sacsri is a player that took out Flash in one of the seasons. Maybe not an ASL season, but I remember a particular game he took out Flash. I think Sacsri is kind of a sleeper in this group.
Yeah, I think it's going to be depending on every first game of their game, whether Sacsri beats Best or Oregon beats Mini and something like the weird scenario of this round of 24. And here's a key point that we were looking at this group A. Oregon hasn't win on the ASL TVP matchup for almost. It wasn't written in a day, so 2,200 something days that he has been having that the losing streak in the Terran versus Protoss matchup. So I wonder whether Oregon is going to break his record.
Well, if you're going to break your record, this would be the day to do it. It's going to be versus Mini definitely versus Mini and potentially versus Best, 2 superstar Protoss players. If you can do it versus somebody like this, then he'd be having a huge confidence boost going into future rounds if he makes it out. You can see his record there, his worst matchup by far, 1-6. Not that many games played though, but I did not know about that record. That's a frightening record for Piano to try and overcome today.
Yeah, 14.3% win rate of the Terran versus Protoss matchup, and you're playing as one of the Protoss players who plays lots of the weird strategy like doing gas steal in a 4-player map, like with the pylon scout and stuff. And looks like players are ready, putting on their the noise cancellation headset and also having the earphones plugged in. and sipping some water before he goes into the game. And the first map, it is going to be played on Butter.
All right, let's get into game 1, guys. Our first game of ASL Season 14. It's Mini versus Oregon. Okay, in the bottom right in the red, you know who it is. It is Mini. And in the top right, looking to break the TVP streak, it is Oregon. So Butter, 2-player map. I think this is kind of balanced. I think it's a pretty good map. Definitely a lot better than Odyssey, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on Butter?
Well, the thing about the map Butter is that if Proxy is doing the proxy gate, you don't have the high ground ramp, so it's kind of like forcing you to play either early stage of the game with the 2 racks opening, or you have to go for an early scout with the scouting SCV and to figure out the proxy gate and whether you want to destroy the gate or whatnot. And we are seeing Mini putting down the pylon at the natural and also doing the pylon scout at the same time.
Yep, and no oh, you can go ahead.
There's lots of audience are here holding the poster, rooting for Mini, and some people came from Busan, which is like the south side of Korea, and of course the studio is in the north, so that's very far distance.
Yeah, really far, something like 4 hours away from the studio. So he's come a long distance, and there's that pesky probe. He is harassing the barracks. Now, you're more knowledgeable of this. The probe is so fast. Is this fast? Is this too fast to the point where Piano already knows that there's not a proxy, or is there still potential for there to be a proxy on the map? We see it's just a forward gate outside of the natural.
Well, there's a still potential of having proxy gate with a 7 pylon 8 gateway into gas steel like this, and looks like Oregon has done the 12 scout to figure out whether there's a proxy gate at the center of the map, and he is sending towards to the 3 o'clock. Is he planning to put down a proxy barracks? And, oh, look at that.
He does, and what's funny is I was thinking, like, if he goes for a proxy racks like this before the match started, I didn't think he was going to end up winning this game. 2 racks versus Mini. This guy's got incredible micro, but Mini's going for a build where he's going to build maybe 1 zealot and then expand. We could see potentially a couple more, but not sure how many zealots going to be building. And if he skips out on any more than this single zealot, he could easily get run over by 2 racks. The question to me is, did the probe see the SCV leave? Does he know something's going on?
Well, he should know. He should have memorized when the scouting SCV went out, but he hasn't seen the proxy. He hasn't seen the scouting SCV yet, so he should be expecting of that. And I'm seeing Mini. Is that a 3rd pylon at the main base? That's what I'm seeing, because we are seeing Mini's supply count is at 24, and he still does not have the Nexus being warped.
Yeah, so he knows. He also has a probe on the left side of the map scouting, and these 3 Marines need to micro their hard outs just to not die to the single zealot and probe. And you can see the probe's looking for the barracks because he knows that something's up. As you stated, the 3rd pylon going up before the Nexus. So Mini, I don't think, is going to die to this Marine SCV pull. Whoa, that's a hidden depot.
Wait, we have seen refinery being cancelled. I wonder what that is. I mean, Mini should be realizing, hey, why are you canceling the refinery? And we sees Mini does not want to lose his zealot. He does have 3 zealot versus 5 Marine. 4 zealot at the net.
Yeah, I think the purpose of the cancel was, okay, you're going to see the gas go up, and then I'm going to cancel it after you've lost vision, and you don't know what's going on. But Mini definitely knows what's going on. I don't even know if these Marines are going to be able to get across the map. There's 3 Zealots here. That SCV control is actually insane. Really good block right there, but it's still 3 Zealots versus 6 Marines. Actually, a bit of miscontrol from Mini there. He ends up losing 2 Zealots to 6 Marines, and this Marine ball is really high. It's at 11 right now. The problem, though, is that cannons are coming up, and I don't know about you, Scan, but to me, cannons are just the ultimate killer of Marines and SCVs.
That is definitely true. And Mini did smell there's a proxy barracks at somewhere, so he did put down the forge before a simulator. There's a second photon cannon being up, so I think Oregon does not. I don't think Oregon still knows about the cannon. Now he sees the photon cannon. He knows this rush. Okay, I guess he's not gonna be. He's still gonna be doing the cheese. Can he actually target the photon cannon?
Well, actually, Mini needs to pull all of his pros, because this is a lot of DPS. There's a ton of Marines. The problem, though, is that cannons just two-shot the Marines. Luckily, the second cannon's going to get up in time. I think Mini could have lost if there's just one cannon, but with the second cannon finishing, this attack is more than done for.
Oh no, Oregon brought so many SCVs. There are 3 photon cannons. They're pretty much taking down all those SCV, destroying those SCV. Worker count is gonna be definitely low for Oregon to keep up the game. He taps out. GG's called. Mini will be winning the game number 1.
Yeah, a bit sad for Oregon there. His cheese does not end up working out. If he had come even just maybe 5 seconds faster, it would have just been 1 cannon versus a lot of SCVs and a lot of Marines, as you stated. But Scan, that Terran versus Protoss loss streak is going to continue, at least for now.
Yeah, I guess he did prepare for this proxy 2x cheese, but Mini is absolutely beast. He's really good at calculating stuff, like what time you went out with the scouting SCP and you're still not coming at my base. And he also calculates the PBZ, like the Zergling time. Like there's a one moment like I was watching of the Pro League, and he was saying something about like a 12 Nexus 12 Forge against the Overpull and whether you can defend or whatnot. And he's answered to some one of the Protoss player, and he said no, you cannot defend Overpull with the 12-12 build. And yeah, he's very he plays StarCraft like a math.
Yeah, and when you're at the highest level like he is, you've got to be knowledgeable of all the timings, because literally just a couple seconds could be the difference maker between a win and a loss. I think we're going to be going into a break, and then we'll be back with our second match, which is going to be Best versus Sacsri. Welcome back. And you know what that banner means, Scan? We're gonna have. Oh, I thought it was gonna have the Hot 6.
No, I think the Hot 6 commercial is going to be happen after the game number 2, and I think she's saying stop. Let me hear what she says. She is summarizing up the game number 1. Oregon decided to go for the Proxy 2 racks, but did not work out. And there's a ASL event. Ask ASL. If you go to ASL mainstream platform, you can leave a comment and asking a question to one of your favorite player. And if your comment gets selected, you will get the ASL mini fan at the image at the bottom left, bottom right. There's also the winner's prediction on the Africa TV esports page. You can also throw some gem, and if your prediction gets you get the right prediction, then you get some more of those gems, and you can also exchange those gems for some type of like a coffee or maybe something like a graphics card if you have lots of gem. But you can try it out. And here's Best.
Yeah, so this is going to be the battle of SK Telecom. We've got Best going up against Sacsri. And, you know, I was curious about Sacsri's history in the ASL because I remember, like I said, him beating Flash, and that was all the way back in Season 8. But since then, we have not seen Sacsri at all. So it's been 6 seasons now, but he's finally back. And for me, Sacsri is, when I was thinking of Sacsri, this is exactly the case. He's hit or miss. When he's on, he can beat the top players. But when he's off, you can see that he's going to be gone for a long time. So if he's on his game today, I think he's definitely got a shot versus Best, but I'm seeing that win percentage, and it's not much better versus Protoss than what we saw from Piano.
Well, it's kind of funny that lots of people say Best is not good at PvZ, but he has the most highest win rate of a PvZ in an ASL record. And Sacsri, we know his ZVT is really, really strong, but when we were looking at the overall stats, it wasn't that quite high, but it was kind of shocking to know Sacsri's ZVP matchup, the win rate was very, very low.
Yeah, it is funny to hear you say that best win rate is PvZ, because for a long time, a lot of people thought his best matchup was PvT, but he's really turned it around. His PvZ is quite strong. Let's get into game 2. We got Best versus Sacsri again on Butter. Okay, in the top right, it is our blue Protoss, Best. And in the bottom right, our red Zerg, it is Sacsri. So you definitely know more about Sacsri. What type of guy is he in ZVP? Is he someone that plays 9-7-3? We haven't seen that often. Is he a split map player? What do you think we're going to see from openers?
Well, if I remember how Sacsri exactly plays, I don't think he likes to play super aggressive Hydra Lurker playstyle like how Queen usually does. He's the type of player who likes to pressure with the early stage of the game with the Hydra list, but then turns into Hive Tech and turtling with the Lurker and having 4 base and doing the split map scenario. And we are seeing Best is about to put the pylon where he's putting the pylon in the middle. So he will be putting the forge at the left and the gateway on the right side.
Yeah, and Butter is one of those maps like Sylphid where I think there is a tiny gap on the side, so stuff like Ling Floods could be dangerous, but of course Best is aware of that. I'm sure he'll be able to clog up that hole easily. Now, so far we have not seen anything put down from Sacsri. The Overlord, oh my gosh, he barely misses that probe. And that really hurts Sacsri because this seems like it's going to be a hatch opener, and it may get blocked from the get-go.
Uh-oh, so this drone will seize the probe coming in, and he knows that the drone moving out, so Best will be realizing this is going to be the 12 hatcher. He's putting down the pylon!
Wow, that's annoying. Luckily, Sacsri has a pretty close base, either at top right or bottom left, so his hatchery won't be delayed that much, but instead he is just going to transition this into a 12 pool. So this is a really successful block from Best, and that means he's definitely going to get away with Nexus first.
Nexus first has gone up. And we are seeing... Okay, he did put down the hatchery at the natural, so... Now we see Sacsri has a really late 12 or 13 spawning full. And Best is right now putting on the forge, and I think that's the right time to have the photon cannon up on time. So yeah, Sacsri is aiming to put down another hatchery at the bottom left.
He did cancel bottom left, and right? He did cancel that, right? Maybe he didn't. For some reason, I thought I saw the hatchery go down bottom left, and now it's canceled. If he did cancel it, I mean, that's 75 minerals. That's a big loss in the early stages of the game. We do see Forge follow-up from Best, playing it safe, not being ridiculous like players like Mini sometimes go for with, you know, just a gate follow-up and straight cybernetics. He does want to get up that cannon to make sure Lings don't do any damage. Pesky Probe still in the main. Does see it is just 2 Lings. Also scouts the gas timing.
Yeah, so now Best is going to be counting how many Zerglings are actually popping out. And Sacsri also knows, okay, so Zergling takes down the Probe. So that means whenever you see the Forge expansion first, Sacsri can either decide to go for 973 or he can just go for the lair type, but I guess he does not like to go for Hydroden here.
Yep, there is the lair coming in, and losing the probe, obviously a huge loss, especially at that moment, because like you said, a Hydroden could be coming down. Luckily for Sacsri, he doesn't need to build that many Lings to clog the entrance of Butter, so he'll be able to keep Best in the dark for a long time. I'm actually surprised Best didn't send out another probe. You know, versus Zerg, you really got to get your intel and read what Zerg's doing, because if you are caught off guard, that could be catastrophic. We do see the second probe now moving out just out of Overlord range. Overlord comes in, doesn't see any tech just yet. That's because the cybernetics is only halfway done. But I imagine more than likely we're just going to see the Stargate put down.
We are seeing Best did already start the +1 weapon upgrade in the Forge. And I see the Best is making the second assimilator, so he will be putting down the Stargate. Maybe it might be the Stargate into super fast DT build, where how Mini was it Mini? But someone was killing Soma in the previous season, couple seasons ago, with the Corsair with the DT follow up. Okay, here's the Stargate now goes up.
And first Zealot moving across the map. That is a very exposed third base. Sacsri just now completing some more Lings, but no Lings popping at that third base. So that means that these 3 drones are going to have to be escorted to another base right now. That is the fast Citadel, as you were stated. I'm curious about this super fast +1 though. I mean, this is extremely fast. This may kick in before even speed is done, before critical mass Zealots are done. He's going to have +1 when he only has like 5 Zealots. We've got 2 more Zealots moving across the map though, and I'm looking at that vision of Zerg. He did not see them move out.
Yeah, but the number of the Zergling right now Sacsri is making, he's looking for those additional Zealot moving out of the map, but he misses it. And he will be surrounding the 4th Zealot, so that's a nice one. And he's trying to do the run by here. Is he gonna be doing the run by? And yes, there is.
Wow, that's gonna be annoying for both players. That's a big probe pull right there. But he stacks onto a lot of the Lings. He's gonna deal a decent amount of DPS to them, but Sacsri still racks up a couple probes. However, there's a lack of defense at the third base of Sacsri. I mean, there's no sunken. There's 3 Lings for defense, I think, and they're out of position. So these Zealots could rack up some kills. Instead, he's not able to get any just yet. More Lings being pumped out from Sacsri, but this is a lot of potential water that could have been drones.
Look at those 3 Zealots standing. And now this is a very tough for Sacsri to take down those 3 Zealot, but he's trying his best to kill those Zealot, but this is so annoying.
Yeah, look at the surface area. Almost no surface available for those Zerglings. And those Zealots killed so many Lings. Another one sneaks into the natural. Sacsri's got to be super tilted seeing this small amount of Zealots deal this amount of damage. I've never seen Zealots get placed in between hatcheries like that, but that was a very cute move from Best. He also sees that a lot of larvae are still morphing, so he may be suspecting Mutaplay.
Yeah, I mean, Sacsri right now has spent all this Vespene gas and the supply count is at 46, so that must be the Mutalisk. Probably 5 Muta with a couple of Scourge being made. Yeah, there's a Scourge, and like I said, this is going to be the Corsair into DT follow-up, but I don't think Sacsri is aware of it. And these Dark Templar will be sneaking inside of the main base, but is there an Overlord? And there is a one Overlord.
There is an Overlord. It's a DT at the third base also. Mutas are coming back to try and save the day. The DT at the third base already gets 4 kills. I think the DT in the main doesn't get that many kills, maybe 1 or 2 drones. But overall, that was successful play from Best. It also buys him time to build up his Corsair count, and he's ramping up his gateway production. Sacsri's got to get something done with these Mutas, because right now, Best is really picking him apart, but despite the drone losses, look how many drones Sacsri still has. Supply is still okay, 55 to 70.
That is definitely a lot of gateway being warped, and there are 2 photon cannons, and I guess Sacsri was expecting of only a single photon cannon, but no, there were 2 photon cannons, and I think Best is not interested of getting the +1 weapon upgrade for the Corsair, and he's not having that much of a Corsair as well too. He only has 3 Corsair maximum, and he did spend those High Templar Vespene gas for the Archon, and I think he's okay, 2 Archons, so that's a lot of gateway. And is this going to be a timing attack?
Yeah, I've seen this play more often these days. A decent amount of Zealots comboed with 2 Archons. You know, Archons don't have the biggest range, but they've got enough to shoot over small buildings and get on top of the Sunken, so maybe he's thinking he can go for a bust right now. But Hydra's starting to come out from Sacsri. I mean, there's only 3 Zealots for support, so I don't see this being successful. And Sacsri, despite the damage he's taken so far, I mean, he's recovered quite nicely. Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, there's no Hydras. Okay, now 3 pop out, but again, forcing another drone pull.
And I was not expecting of the gun range switch from Best, because normally you want to have decent amount of High Templar count before you switch to Mass Gun, but he has 0 High Templar, and having that many guns in the early stage of the game, is he gonna be taking down those the hatchery being at the front line?
Yeah, if he has range already, I mean, he can pop that Hydrogen, he can pop one of the forward hatcheries, but, I mean, goons are not exactly what you want versus Mass Hydra, because that's basically what Best Comp is. It's almost pure goon at this point. However, when he can sit in an arc like this, he's going to trade quite effectively, but this is a lot of Hydras coming from the left side and the bottom side. Can Sacsri push through this?
I don't know. I mean, those Archons are pretty much taking all those shots from the Hydralisk, but to look at those number of goons are getting melted, and it looks like those 5 Mutas are about to merge. Okay, the Mutalisks are dying.
Yeah, Mutas end up dying right there. They soaked up a decent amount of hits, but the goons seem to just barely be too high in numbers, now dwindling down to just 6. 4 Zealots moving in to help support the goons. Finally, we've got some Templars moving out, but I don't think Best will be able to continue to push this attack. It's 6 hatch production from Zerg. I'm trying to get a gauge. Did you see an evolution chamber anywhere? I don't think Sacsri has upgrades. Oh, there it is. It's at the third base. I take that back.
Yeah, he does have the +1 weapon upgrade for the Hydralisk, and I still do not see High Templar in this fight, and that's something that right now Best really needs to throw some side storms top of the Hydralisk and melt some of the Hydralisk or buttering the bread. Okay, this is a high ground for Best to have the advantage, and there's lots of High Templars here.
Yeah, then that was a decent storm. It is going to push the Hydras back. Also, Preuss coming in from the high ground makes it even harder for Zerg, but that's a lot of Hydras now, and without that much goon support, these Zealots are just getting melted. There's only one Templar with Storm either. That's a fantastic dodge, and easily Sacsri holds this, and now Best is going to have to come up with a secondary game plan because he lost a lot of high-tech units. I mean, that was a lot of goons to lose. Look at his gas. He's completely gas-starved.
Yeah, look I mean, look at how fast the Sacsri APM is. I mean, he's just dodging the storm like he's just dodging the storm really easily, and with the 500 APM. And now this is something that Best really needs to slow down his the tempo of this game, because he doesn't have the third expansion yet, and Sacsri is going to have these decent amount of Hydralisk count to fight back.
Yeah, I was agreeing. I thought for sure he was going to slow down the tempo, but Best, he's just continuing to push the issue. He's had 7 gate for a while, so he's got a lot of production. These Zealots are heavily upgraded, 1-1 already done. There's not that much Storm though, but the Zealots just flat out aren't dying. And look at Best, he's consistently reinforcing this, and it's faster reinforcements than Sacsri. So Sacsri building that 4th base at mid left, probably going to be denied, and now we're starting to see the snowball effect. It's 130 to 74 supply. It looks like Best may have done it. I haven't seen a single lurker either, so I don't know how actually Sacsri is going to hold this attack. I mean, look at how fast Best is rallying units. This is insane.
Yeah, the game tempo is really fast for Best, and Sacsri also wants to keep up fighting back and pushing back up this Best's army, but I mean, I don't see any lurker yet. I mean, if you want to fight back against this Protoss army comp, you kind of want to have a couple of lurkers to fight back and kind of like doing the splash damage on those Zealot, but these army count is just too much for Sacsri to hold off. And okay, drones are getting assassinated, and Sacsri cannot keep up the game anymore. GG is called.
Wow, what a monster. Best. I thought Sacsri did a good job recovering from the amount of damage those 3 Zealots did, but in the end, just ridiculous macro and ridiculous speed. He did not let off the gas at all, and Best PVZ looks menacing.
Yeah, the game tempo was super duper fast, and I really loved it. It was kind of like watching of a Terran versus Zerg matchup there, because normally of the Protoss versus Zerg matchup, a lot of Protoss players like to wait until those high tempos have enough energy to move out, but he's shown us that PvZ game, just like TvZ, like non-stop battle in the early stage of the game, in the mid stage of the game, and the late game as well.
Yeah, it was really impressive, and this does set us up for what I would consider the match of the day. It's going to be Mini versus Best. You know, Best desperately wants to win here because Mini absolutely humiliated him the past time they played in ASL. It was like a 3-0, absolute devastation, and we're going to be coming back with that match in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. Oh, I take that back. We got the Hot 6 scan.
Yes, of course, we like I expected. After the game number 2 ends, there's also going to be the Hot 6 commercial, and we are seeing the Into the Rain, Caster Park, and the Caster Lee at the right, and that must be the new one of the Hot 6, the black.
I feel like we saw black. Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, we have seen the black, but different image at the front. I think it's written 0 at the front.
Yeah, it does look like 0 there, so maybe a different flavor. You can see Into the Rain showcasing it on the left side. I'm sure he's going to chug it as fast as ever. I want to talk about something else, though. You played ASL qualifiers,
yes,
and
I did.
unfortunately didn't make it in, but you went pretty far. Was there any players that you thought should have made it in that didn't make it in? Because I'm looking at the player list. There's a player that made it in that I've never heard of. Dashik, is he somebody that we potentially should look out for in this season?
Well, he's one of the amateur player who's really good at Zerg versus Protoss matchup, and I heard he took down Bisu in a best of 3 series. I heard, but I know he's not good at Zerg versus Terran matchup, and we know he's in a group D I think he's in a Group D, and he has to play against those two Terran players who are in his group. They are JYJ and Sock. So JYJ is also one of the players who's really good at optimizing a monster at Terran vs Zerg matchup, and I'm pretty sure the new amateur player who made it into ASL Season 14, he will be having some difficulty there.
Well, is there an ID that... Okay, we'll take that back. We're going into commercial. We'll be back in just a second. All right, we are back. We're going to be getting into our winners match. I think we're going to go to the hostess in just a second. Maybe not. We see that actually mini band Odyssey and best band Neo Arkanoid, and that means that our map is going to be Allegro. And I know you like this map at least over Largo. Am I correct?
Well, Allegro is This is the newer version of Largo that you guys maybe have seen on a ladder map pool. But I heard it's okay. I mean, it's just kind of like a 4-player standard map. So I guess they just want to play on a standard map instead of playing on some type of like a weird map. And of course, Best is one of the players who's really like to play something standard and macro plays. Of course, he's not going to be liking about the map Neo Arcanoid, and of course, Mini. He does not like to play the 2-player map because 2-player map you can do some type of like a shenanigan build like a proxy 2 gate and something like that. So I guess that's it. Players are ready.
Yep, so let's get into our winners match today. Find out which one of these Protoss is going to be moving on into the round of 16. Is it going to be Mini or is it going to be Best? Looks like players are not ready just yet. I was looking at the result. Oh, we are ready, so let's get into our game. Okay, in the top left position, our blue Protoss, it is Best. And in the top right, our white Protoss, it is Mini. And the 3-0 I was talking about between these two players in past ASLs, I was looking at the history on Mini's page. It was all the way back in Season 11, so it's actually been quite a while since we've seen these two players face off. But we did see a recent face-off of these two players in the Chinese Star League, and I was looking at that. Mini ended up getting 3rd, Best getting 4th, but it was a 4-0 for Mini. Did you happen to catch any of those games?
No, I don't think I have. And we are also looking at this ASL match history of Best versus Mini, and this is 3-0. Mini is having those lead with the 3-0 here, and both of the players will be putting down the pylon at the main base. And earlier, the cameraman showed some audience, and there's a one guy who was wearing the green shirt. He's the chairman. He's the chairman of the Bosford, and the chairman is watching Best's game. Best needs to show how strong he is. He is in the ASL round of 24.
Okay, we know that the university thing is really taking off because we actually saw some commercials for the university on the stream today. I was noticing that, so I guess Afrika has really taken interest in that, and we do see cross scout from Best. Even though this is a normal map, I think it is imperative to scout versus Mini, because in that Season 11 that I was just talking about, Mini did go for proxy gate, so I think this is a smart move from Best. And interesting, Mini's not scouting at all, so he's going to have a slight eco lead going into the early stages of this game.
Whenever I see one of the Protoss player who's not doing the scout at all with the standard cybernetics core build, I'm going to be expecting Mini will be putting down early 2 gateway before the robotic facility, because he has those the mining efficiency, not doing any of probe scout in the early stage of the game, so he will be having more income. And of course, he did spend that 100 miner early for the Zealot production, I believe. So maybe he wants to have that one Zealot like denying the probe scout. Okay, never mind. He'll be moving out.
Well, yeah, I was kind of agreeing with you there that he's probably going to put down a fast second gate, but for him to instantly send that Zealot out, it means that the probe probably is going to get into the main and he'll be able to scout it. I want to know where that gas goes. Both players have basically 150 gas. It just got spent for Mini, so that is straight into range. Best going to match that, going straight into range himself, not going to go into something weird like a Citadel. But I am surprised that probe is going to get in, and there is that second gate that you were talking about.
Yeah, so he will be having that second gateway before the first goon pops out, and the first goon should be popping out by now, and there it is. The probe is getting chased, and the Zealot will be returning after checking out that bottom right side. So Best knows what Mini is doing, so Best needs to decide whether he wants to follow up the additional gateway, or whether he wants to get a faster robotic facility in this game.
Yeah, the forward pylon triggers to me that this is going to be the fast robo probe in position for it also, but you remember Best scouted the fast gate. Oh, okay. That is going to be a Citadel follow-up from Mini, so a bit of mind games coming in. I was going to say that Best saw the second gate. I don't think that Mini can actually run up the ramp, and bust through, but he will be able to sit outside the natural for a while if he wants. But that is an interesting follow-up with the Citadel.
If Best decides to go for 3-gate observer build, then this is going to be a completely counter against Mini's build, because Mini, oh my god, there's a third gateway being warped at the bottom of the second gateway, so that is going to be 3-gate up build from Best. And if Best takes down those Gun or evenly trade against Mini's army, then this is not going to be looking great for Mini, because Mini won't have enough Gun count to fight back.
Well, Best needs to be careful. Remember, there's an additional Zealot for Mini right here. This is 3 goons versus 3 goons, but the additional Zealot will soak up a ton of hits. Those goons actually deal a ton of damage to that single goon, and now Best has to pull some probes just to not die here. That's 4 goons now.
Yeah, 4 gun with the 1 Zealot pressure. This is really, really strong. Here are the 4 guns standing on a high ground. Okay, picking up the probe. And now this 6 guns will be trapping Best's army.
Yeah, and that was a really good probe block right there. The Zealot did almost no damage at all. For the really hurt goon ends up taking, I don't think, any additional shots. So they're pretty much even on health right now. I think if Best wanted to, he could be able to bust out once he gets one more round of units. But instead, Mini's going to try and push up here. I think this is a big mistake. That's really good focus fire from Best there. He takes down one of the goons, does not get a second one. And that means that Mini is in kind of trouble here with these DTs. Unless the observer goes across the map, then the DTs might sneak in and potentially in the game.
Well, the number of Vesping gas, what I'm seeing from Best is the resource. Since the Vesping gas is even, I'm expecting him making the second observer on the way. So, with the first observer, he will be scouting what Mini is doing, but the second observer should be popping up by now. There are the 2 DTs are about to climb up. He does react, and the second observer just popped out on time.
Yeah, but still, these DTs one-shot the probe, so they're going to rack up a couple kills. However, that was a good probe block again to limit the amount of damage. However, these 4 goons are at the natural, and Best needs to cancel that. Otherwise, he's going to lose the Nexus. He does cancel it, so he at least only loses 100 minerals. That DT is so sneaky. It's at the top. It's going to rack up a couple more kills before it ends up falling. More lost mining time on the probes. Another DT gets in, but it is going to be forced back. He's probably going to branch one off just like that. And I don't think Mini noticed that one.
Oh,
he
no,
doesn't.
He doesn't know about it. There's a Dark Templar at the front line, and now Best is just going to be bringing all of his army and go for the counter attack. But the DT will be okay. He does send back the second observer.
Yeah, this was really, really good to send back the second observer. I actually think Best has a shot here because his army is really strong. However, that DT needs to die. DT will beat 1 goon. It ends up getting cleaned up, and actually, Mini scouts a Citadel follow-up. So this is going to be a tech switch from Best, but another DT into the natural takes down another probe.
I mean, Mini is just absolutely playing beast in this game because those sneaky DT always hide somewhere. Okay, that's something being added. Okay, that's a shield battery.
Yeah, but it's 8 goons versus 8 goons plus an additional Zealot for Best. Best not going to poke in though, and that may have been a window of opportunity that he's not going to be able to exploit ever again. Another DT is going to die, but I think with the natural so much faster for Mini, he can afford to lose maybe 1 or 2 additional DTs carelessly.
Whoa.
Not too many though, but that's what are we seeing? That's a forge?
Yeah, that's a forge being worked for Mini after the 4 gateway, and we are seeing Best is making the counter DT. So maybe Best is going to be aiming for DT drop against Mini strat, and Mini does have decent amount of guns to go for the attack, but there are 10 guns with the 3 Zealot. I think this is going to be the great trade for Best because Best has those 3 Zealot 3 zealots that can be tanking all those shots. Goons are moving forward, picking up those goons. Nicely trade.
Yeah, this is way too ambitious from Mini. He's going to be pushed back and... Okay, I thought he was going to lose a Dragoon there, but he doesn't. And like he said, this is going to potentially be a DT drop. The Observer has been in the base the whole time, so he knows there's no detection right now.
Wow.
Luckily for Mini, I think that cannon's going to finish in time. However, the problem is that the shuttle can just unload right on top of it. But Mini moving in to position 4 goons, he knows that that's a potential vulnerability, and this is very, very good intuition from Mini.
There was absolutely no reason for Best to make those additional 3 Zealot in the game, and now they are the shuttle unloading 3 Dark Templar, and the photon cannon will be finished on time. But will he be able to surround those cannon? And the answer is, I don't think he's no. No, he didn't respawn on time.
No, and look at that. Best was attacking the front at the same time to draw the attention away. That's exactly what he needed to do. And Mini didn't notice at all. He loses almost his entire mineral line. Observatory's not done. So the Robo is going to die. And Best may actually finally put a win versus Mini here. Remember, he's 0-3 versus Mini and ASL. Shuttle pops up, but that's not enough. He's going to lose his Nexus. That puts Mini all in. He must win here. But he doesn't have detection. A single DT will save the day for Best.
Yeah, this counterattack is going to be definitely powerful here for Best, and Best can just make the Invisible Man to stop this army. I mean, he can just give up the expansion. Okay, never mind. He's making more DT follow-up, but I'm not sure whether this is going to be the great. Okay, maybe he does. Okay, that's a lot of Dark Templar. Never mind. So he will be able to hold off. I wasn't expecting he will be having 4 Dark Templar here.
I know, man. 4 invisible men, and they're going to easily clean up these DTs. The Robo has died. The Prime guy died, and Mini taps out. That means Best. He's going to get out in first place, and I thought there's no way that Mini could ever lose to Best here, because Mini has just been dominating Best for the past few seasons. But what a nice move from Best right there to take down the victory.
Yeah, that wasn't... I mean, Mini's strategy was incredibly amazing. I mean, he did calculate all those counter DT drop on time and stuff, but that 4 goons were misplaced, and he did not see the shuttle was coming and unloading 3 Dark Templar. And yeah, Best found out all those the weak spot and finally figures out how to beat against Mini this time.
Yeah, and he's going to move into the round of 16. I mean, he was definitely one of the favorites to make it through, but first place, wow, that's a shocker because Mini is so strong these days. And Mini's still my pick to make it out in second place, but he's an emotional player. When he loses like that, you can see it in his face, and it could throw him off his game in the Deciders match today.
And this is the first group of this ASL Season 14 Round of 24. We are going to be interviewing the first player who will be advancing into Round of 16. That is going to be Best. Congratulations.
정말 오랜만에 24강 팬분들을 모시고 무대를 진행하고
It's been a long time that we have not seen the audience in this the studio.
흡수한 게 아닌가 하는 생각이 들어요. 소감 어떠신가요?
And how do you feel about making it into round of 16 with the 2 wins?
너무 많이 오셔가지고 좀 힘이
A lot of fans and our audience that come to the studio and watch our game. And he also wants to say thanks to the Passport chairman, Gams. He's also here with the green shirt. There he is. He wants to say thank you to him. Thank you for coming here and watching his game.
하지만 오늘은 강점은 더 강한 모습, 약점까지 보완된 모습을 좀 보여주셨던 것
In
같아요.
previous seasons, you did lose to Mini, but now you showed us you did something improved and knows how to fight back or counter against Mini's playstyle. There's a moment. There was a moment that you were kind of having some tough time against Mini's DT build.
워낙 세기도 하고 해서 좀 안정적으로 할 줄 알았는데
So best to say,
휘둘리면서도 약간
he
좀
thought
기도했어요.
Mini
제발
would be
자꾸 좀
playing
통해라라고 좀 기대했는데 잘 통한
Mini
것
would be
같아요.
playing something standard,
이렇게
but he
변현재
was
선수가 워낙
playing
서포트
something different than what he was
상대를
expecting.
흔드는
He wasn't
심리전도
expecting
굉장히 강한
a
선수인데 도재욱 선수의
two-gate follow-up into
변현재
DT
선수가
follow-up
흔들리는
for the
모습이 또
second
있었습니다.
combo.
자,
So
도재욱 선수는 현재 ASL
he was kind of falling
진출
behind in that game, but he was kind of
이제는 이
praying
커리어
for those
말고도
3 DT
또
drop,
다른
but they
또 다른
work out.
커리어를
So
준비하셔야
just
할
kind of
때가
glad that they
아닌가라는
work out for
생각이
him.
들어요.
네네.
도재욱 선수의 생각 어떠신가요?
일단은 제가 처음에 말씀드렸던 것처럼 일단은 한 경기 준비할 생각이고요. 오늘
So
저도 좀 쉽지 않아서
from the
많이
previous
걱정했는데
interview, he said that every single game is very important for him. He did prepare for every scenario, every game scenario. So
변현재 선수를 꺾고 가장 먼저
he's gonna be
16강에
preparing
오른 만큼 이번
more
시즌
for the
아마
round of
도재욱
16.
선수를 보기 위해서 팬분들이 많이 현장을 찾아주실 것 같습니다. 팬분들께도 한마디
and
전해주시죠.
because of this round of
요즘에
24,
이제 뭐 팬분들이 뭐 정말
the performance of
많이
your
있어요.
game,
뭐 일단
we are gonna be
많은 일들이
expecting
있었기 때문에 그래서
your
너무
fan,
감사하고
more of your
더
fans will be
열심히
coming
해서
for round of 16 and
보고
rooting
싶어지기도
for you.
하겠고, 그리고
Any last words to your
바스포드
fans?
멤버들이 정말 응원 많이 해주거든요. 그래서 너무 고맙고,
A lot of
그리고
Boss 4 members are
원래 이런
rooting
잘
for
안
him
오시는
and
거라고
cheering
했는데
for him.
감스트 이사장님 진짜 오셔가지고 너무
And
깜짝
he-
놀랐어요. 말도 안 하고 오셔가지고
Normally, the
너무
Boss
힘이
4
됐던 것 같아요.
chairman does not come to
많은
here
분들이
to
도재욱
watch
선수에게
players
힘을
players
실어주기
game,
위해서
but he
이번
did come here,
시즌 많은 파이팅도
and
보내주실
he's
것
really
같습니다.
glad to see
시즌
him here.
14에서 좋은 모습
And thank you for
기대하도록
coming
하겠습니다.
by.
축하드립니다.
예, 감사합니다.
And thank you for cheering.
자, 이렇게 이번 시즌 가장 먼저
thank you for the interview.
16강에 이름을 올린 도재욱 선수와 함께했습니다. 잠시 후에 이어질 패자전과 최종전과
And we will be
함께하시죠.
moving into the losers match soon after the commercial break. And that is going to be Oregon versus Sacsri. And we don't know what map it is going to be played yet. And we'll see you soon. Stay tuned, guys.
We are back, and we're going to be going into our losers match, and it is going to be Allegro again. We had the same bands. It's Odyssey Band and Neo or Arkanoid, so looks like neither or nobody really wants to play any of those two weird maps. But we're going to have TVZ, and this is going to be far and away Piano's best matchup. Definitely a strong player in TVZ. He loves drops. And you were mentioning earlier that Sacsri, well known for his Zerg versus Terran.
And it kind of reminds me of a previous season where Sacsri was playing against Light in the round of 24. It was a decider match, I believe, and Sacsri went for 3 hatchery before Extractor at the 3rd expansion, like a ZVP build, and Light was not able to scout at all with the scouting SCV, and because of the drone was chasing that SCV the whole day long, and I wonder if he's going to be doing the same strategy in this round of 24 in this ASL Season 14.
Well, he very well could. I haven't seen him a long time, so I'm not too sure of Sacsri's playstyle these days. But as I stated, I know for a fact Piano loves drops, so I'm expecting to see a lot of drops. And our game is ready, so let's get into our losers match. Whoever loses here is going to be eliminated from the ASL. Right, in the bottom left, our Terran, it is Piano, or Organ. And in the bottom right, our Red Zerg, it is Sacsri. So Allegro, TVZ. You know, you're talking about how Largo's in the ladder map pool. Is there anything people should know about Allegro compared to Largo, at least for TVZ?
Well, Largo, whenever you're sending your unit towards to either horizontal or vertical, sometimes the army kind of splits into half, like walking to the center line on the map, and some of the army moves to the sides of the map, and in this type of map, like a Allegro, where the map maker decided to change a little bit, and it did fix the padding, I should say, and it's kind of a little bit helpful for all players to move out the army easily. And we are seeing the supply depot being made at the main base, and Sacsri is also making the Overlord, so he's not interested of going for, okay, never mind, he's putting on the spawning pool.
So we've got an overpull from Sacsri. I guess he's expecting Oregon to get aggressive here. I mean, he's already showed an aggressive play versus Mini, so I think this is an okay opener from Sacsri. However, if this is just a normal opener from Oregon, he's going to have a slight advantage, in my opinion. Of course, he needs to defend the incoming overpull, but I'm sure he'll be able to handle it easily. Now, to me, it's important for him to go horizontal, and unfortunately, he is going to scout Sacsri last. So hopefully Oregon will send out an additional SCV to scout, because if he just blindly builds that command center, that could be a canceled command center easily. The Lings will definitely knock it down if he doesn't see the Lings coming.
Overpull follow up, and the Oregon will be scouting the 11 o'clock at the same time. I don't see, okay, he's just scouting the net and he'll be turning around, and I don't see the second SCV moving out yet. So we are seeing Sacsri making, okay, that must be 6 Zergling, or it can be 4 Zergling depending on how he wants to play, but there are 4 Zerglings are moving out.
Is it just 4?
Yeah.
It is just 4. I'm surprised. Okay, there we go. There's the 2 follow-up behind it, but there's the second SCV scout that I was talking about. He does see Lings. However, he only sees 2 Lings, so he may be thinking that there are more Lings actually out on the map, when we know that, you know, there really aren't. Just now they're going to be heading over to the left side. There's a bit of a missend of Sacsri, kind of going to the top side, now back to the left side. That's going to give Piano time to actually get up 3 Marines. He's got more than enough SCVs to hold the ramp. So overall, this overpull really did not work out very well for him. He He doesn't even see anything. He doesn't even see that command center. So actually, Piano's in a really good spot because now Sacsri may be considering that this could potentially be something like a 1-1-1 opener.
Well, there's something that I want to say about Oregon's command center timing. I mean, the old days, whenever you're facing the early spawning pool, you kind of want to have the command center on the high ground and lift up and then put it down at the natural later on. But I heard some other day, like, Light was saying that you want to put down a third depot and a non-stop marine production with a non-stop SCP production, and then later on you just place down the command center at the natural, and that is just kind of like evens out the time of lifting up the command center and losing all those SCP production time. But let's see how Oregon is going to be playing and whether this is going to be a right decision or whatnot. And there is a bunker being placed.
Yeah, I think the command center is fine on the high ground because, like I said, Sacsri didn't see it, so he still could be worried about 1-1-1. But now he's aware that, okay, 1-1-1's not coming. Vulture would have already been out, so actually he didn't have to build a sunken colony, so that's great for him. What I'm really interested in is Piano's follow-up, because he went gas pretty quickly at 3:30, but it was a 4-minute academy, and he does not have a second barracks. So what's he going to do with this? I'm assuming it's just going to be to rush upgrades, but I mean the marine count is quite low right now.
Sacsri did make additional Zergling at the center, so he does have 10 Zergling. I think maybe he's just aiming to go for some type of like a backstab whenever Oregon moves out with the early 2 medic or whatnot, but yeah, he's just pretty much bluffing that, hey, I only have 6 Zergling. Come out whenever you want. Then he does have that 4 Zergling hiding at the backside, so let's take a look here.
Yeah, and the backstab is what all the good Zergs do. As soon as Terran moves out, they instantly go for a backstab. And the backstab always hits at a critical moment where Terran's like building their eBay. If the SCV gets killed building the eBay, all of a sudden mutas could potentially get in and start knocking down Marines, SCVs, turrets that aren't done yet. So it is a big deal that Piano does not let in any lings. Nice scan right there. He sees that mutas, I think, mutas are not in production just yet. I thought they were. But he does see that Sacsri has good eco. So this is not just going to be massling. He did see the canceled sunken, and he saw the drone move out. So he knows the third hatch is going down in just a second.
Well, this is something kind of like a handicap for Sacsri here, because normally if you are playing 2-hatch muta, you want to put down the third hatchery before the mutalisk production. But we see Sacsri made the mutalisk production first into third hatchery. So I would not say Sacsri is having a good start in this game.
We do see third racks coming down for Piano. Turrets are going to complete in time. And we do see that the Academy's still blinking, so range not done just yet. Now, that building placement makes me a little bit worried for Terran, simply because I know the pathing of Marines, so they love to bug out on depots and small pathways. And Sacsri could be able to catch up easily if he can pick off some few Marines. Now, though, that's not where he wants to go. He loses only 1 muta. I think that's very lucky for him. He could have definitely lost 2 or 3. A second one is dangerously in the red. He should consider sending that back, but instead he's going to keep pressing the issue.
The mutalisk will be taking down one of the supply depot, and Oregon does have decent amount of mineral, but he cannot really spend that money yet because of the supply depot still being blocked. 59, okay, 60 over 60. And he does have decent amount of marine medic count, so he'll be moving out with his first M&M. And pressure, Sacsri, stop attacking my base.
Yeah, it's about 2 groups of marine medic. The eBay was not rushed, so there's no +1 weapon anytime soon. This is 11 mutas, so this does have potential to do a lot of damage to any straggler units. And he's going to pick off a ton of Marines here. And Piano, he's just going to go for it. There's a lot of marine medic here, but there's no sunkens for Sacsri. He's going to have to hold with almost pure mutiling, basically. Medic. He tries to get a medic, but not able to.
Ooh, medic. I really hate medic. I mean, medic always stays behind and it always gets picked up by the mutalisk, and you always have to aware of where your medic is actually standing.
Well, here we go. I think Piano has forgotten about the Lings, and he's going to move in here, and this is, I think, way too many Lings and Mutilis. This army gets easily cleaned up, and remember, Piano got supply blocked for a long time, so he ended up building a ton of extra depots. He doesn't have a lot of Marines back at his main. He's got a ton of idle SCVs too, and we see a supply lead for Sacsri right now. However, I don't see Hydroden, I don't see any tech, so he's kind of just all in with these Lingmutas, but I think he should easily be able to overrun this because there's just not a lot of stuff for Terran.
That's a lot of missile turret being placed at the natural, so he will be having decent amount of the missile turret to hold off against this +1 Muta. And I still do not see drones being filled up at the 3rd expansion for Sacsri, so I want to know what Sacsri exactly wants to do. But he still has a supply lead, so this is going to be looking great here. And I see something being built at the naturals. That is going to be armory, and Organ is going to go for Valkyrie build. And please show us some Zerg's main base or natural, whether he wants to go for Hydra Switch or not.
Yeah, this seems like a desperation armory, though. Like, the Mutas have dealt so much damage. The multiple depots have died. The placement of the depot in the academy, I mean, it really is just hard to defend when they're placed like that, and it's really biting Oregon in the butt this game. We do see the double starport in the armory, as you stated, so Valkyries are coming. I mean, I guess the one thing going for Oregon is Sacsri did not get armor, because if Sacsri got armor on his Mutas, those Valkyries going to do almost no damage.
Yeah, the Valkyrie production is on the way, and we are seeing the Queen's Nest being morphed at the 3rd expansion. Please show us Sacsri's natural. I see those two building at the ramp side. I want to see whether that is probably the evolution chamber than Hydroden. Oh yeah, there is the evolution chamber than Hydroden. He's having the tech switch to Lurker, and there's still a decent amount of Muta with the Zergling count. 4 Lurkers are being morphed.
Well, first Valkyrie is out, and Valkyrie does pack a big punch when there's no armor on the Mutilis, so Sacsri's going to have to turn around for now. But being even in supply, Sacsri should still feel like he's in a good position, and now he's definitely in a good position now that I see that the Lurkers are being morphed. There's really no base that Piano can attack right now. He's just going to have to accept that 3 bases are up and running from Sacsri. Oh, hold position Lurkers, this could be fantastic!
Oh my god, he just scans and he figures out, and the Lurkers are moving from the top side and try to have those Muta standing top of the Marine. And lots of Muta did die.
Yeah, but the Marine medic ball still ended up getting wiped out, and 2 Valkyries on the 3 die to just 4 Scourge. And Valkyries are super expensive, 250 minerals, 125 gas. He may be able to kill some of these Mutas, some of them are injured, but there's no way Piano's getting out of his base anymore.
And I want to see the Defiler Mount being worked. Never mind, the Defiler Mount is still not up yet, but now Sacsri will be able to contain Organ's natural like that. And there's a Creek colony being morphed, more Hydralisks being made, more Lurkers. And this Lurker container is going to be more solid and solid. And look at that. Valkyrie into dropship follow. And oh my god, Sacsri does have those 2 Zerglings at the bottom mid. He does scans.
Yeah.
But does he know about the dropship being moved out?
Well, he's got vision with the Overlord, and then even more vision behind it. And there's 2 Scourge, so he's going to catch one of the dropships. Mutas are moving back in time too. Lurkers are set up also. This drop shouldn't do really any damage, and unfortunately for Piano, he's not able to get outside of his nat. He sees Zerg is on Hive Tech. He really hasn't done anything to the Mutaball. He can't damage the 3rd base. What can he do? Is Piano just doomed?
Well, I would say he's kind of doomed because the supply count is just too much for Sacsri. 91 versus 75, and he's right now adding the machine shop, and I think that C-Tank will get stuck, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's going to pop out on the bottom side also, and so it's not even going to be able to help him. Like, he can't lift before Siege is complete either. So, yes, I mean, damn, look how many Lurkers there are, man. Like, you just can't get out of this. Well, there's the Defiler Mound. And as a Terran player, when you see the Defiler Mound and you know that your lurker contains, you know you pretty much have
Oh
like
my God.
1 minute to get out, otherwise you're dead. And there's Guardians!
How does he have these many of Bespin gas? Oh my God, the
Yeah,
tank is stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is stuck.
He has to just stay until the second tank pops out. And this is going to be a long time for him. And the Guardian, that must be 8 Guardian.
He canceled it. He canceled Siege because he can't get out. He knows he has to try and push this back. And there's just no way he can push this back. It's Dark Swarm, Lurker, Ling, with Guardians behind that. And even of Devour, just for good measure. Well, this is GG Scan. There's no world where Sacsri could ever take out this army. Here we go. This is going to be the Piano's last stand right here. The orange cloud comes out, and there's just no answer to it. The irradiates have already been blown, and that means Sacsri, he's going to be moving on into our deciders match to face off versus Mini.
This is just too much of a... The Zerg Rush, and Piano Organ knows he cannot really do anything about this game because of the +1 lurker, +1 armor lurker. And the Guardian also has the +1 weapon upgrade. The Vessel does not have enough energy used to irradiate. Okay, there are 3 raids, but that's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just Guardians, yeah, I could say, okay, he will push this back. But the fact that the orange cloud is here with the lurkers, how do we ever damage the actual lurkers on the ground? And the answer is, you're just not. So we are moments away from seeing the tap out. Sacsri, he's even taking bases behind it, so it's not like he's all in. All the SCVs are going to die. There's just no way Oregon can play it out. But remember, this is his last game of the tournament, so he's going to continue to try and hold, but there's just no way he can do it.
There's just too much, and the third wing is just somehow bugging out for some reason. He's probably going to be using more Dark Swarm, or maybe Plague? Okay, never mind, not Plague. Okay, no, never mind, he does have Plague too. And that's just too much. GG is called. Oregon gets eliminated in this ASL Season 14 round of 24. And Sacsri does still survive. He will be moving into decider match against Mini, and Mini's waiting there.
Yeah, I feel a bit bad for Oregon here because this seemed like just a death group for him. We talked about how his TVP is not exactly his best matchup, and then he gets his best matchup TVZ, but he runs into Sacsri, whose best matchup is Zerg versus Terran. And losing those depots in the early game, I think really did hurt Piano's macro big time, getting out onto the map with his secondary attack. You know he's not happy about that game. But Piano's a good player. I'm sure he'll be back next season, but for him, this season, it's over.
Yeah, so...
Well,
Yeah, so it looks like Sacsri is probably taking a look at his replay, how he wants to play for the decider match, and maybe he also needs to think about the map as well, but we still don't know. We still do not know about the map yet until the banner shows up, which maps are going to be banned. And yeah, I think we are going to be moving into the commercial break soon. Yeah, there it is.
we're going to be going into a break, and we'll be back with our final game of the day. It's going to be Mini versus Sacsri. We are approaching the final game of the day. It's Mini versus Sacsri. We see that Vermeer was banned, and then Nemesis was banned, and that means that Sylphid is going to be our map choice, and we haven't seen this map in a long time. It's almost an old school map.
Well, it's an old school map, and we have seen the Neo Sylphid. The Sylphid 3, they decided to change the mineral patch of the 12 o'clock site because it's just too imbuff for Zerg, having so much of an income in the early stage of the game. And also the natural, they decided to add bonus mineral field for the Protoss player because there are lots of Protoss players are struggling to play against the Zerg because they cannot do the photon cannon rush in this map because there's no space behind of the mineral field at the natural. And yeah, pretty much giving the extra mineral field to have some the backup plan there. And they didn't really change that much except for that the bonus mineral field. And look at that the red line. I don't know what those red line is for, but pretty much explaining about maybe the pathing, maybe, not sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. It looked like they were pointing out the additional mineral patch at those bases, and you can see apparently they think that these, I know they're not high ground bases because there's no mischance, but I'm going to call it a high ground base. He's circling the high ground base for some reason. I'm guess pointing out that those have the half mineral patches, half gas, or even less than half gas. So those bases will mine out fast if either player ends up taking them. But overall, what do you think about Sylphid? I know you talked about 12, but you think this is a in general balanced map?
I played 7 games against Hyun yesterday, and I was playing on this Neo Sylphid about like 3 games or 4 games. Neo Sylphid is just pain in the ass to defend against the Muta, but it doesn't have to do with this ASL game here because it's a PvZ. But I know for sure Zerg, a lot of Zerg players likes to play 973 build here, and I wonder how Mini is going to be countering against that 973 if it ever happens, and whether he wants to play the Forge expansion or the Gateway first, or Gateway follow-up, because he can't really do the photon cannon rush in this map. But let's see. Looks like players are getting ready.
Yeah, players are getting ready. We're going to be going into Sylphid in just a second. It's our final game of the day. And since this is best of 1, there is a chance that Mini could be eliminated. Remember, in Season 13, he got eliminated quickly, too. So, we'll see if Sacsri can do it. Okay, in the top middle are green Protoss. It is Mini. And in the mid left are pink Zerg. It is Sacsri. And it's cool to hear that you were playing versus Hyun lately, a few games. You know, I played versus Hyun on the ladder, I think about a year ago. I know that Deer from StarCraft 2 has come back to StarCraft 1. Paralyze has come back from StarCraft 2 to StarCraft 1. What do you think about the return of a couple of these, you know, old pro gamers to StarCraft 1?
Well, I'm kind of glad to see them coming back, but at the same time, I did play against them on a Spawnpang matchup, and I kind of noticed that they just came back from StarCraft 2, so of course they will be having some difficulty of getting used to a new trend, like doing the Pylon Scout and the Protoss versus Terra matchup, and doing the early stage of the game with the gas fuel, and something like how Mini and Snow has been inventing of the new strategy of a PvT, and I think they're still getting used to it.
Yeah, I would like to see if they can come up with anything new in StarCraft 1 since they've been playing StarCraft 2 for a while. You know, actually, Paralyze, I saw, I mean, or maybe I saw it on Artosis' stream of you versus Paralyze. Paralyze has an interesting cannon expand into 4-gate Protoss versus Terran. I wonder if he'll be able to show us something in PvZ or PvP in the near future. Now we've got a 12 Nexus from
Oh
Mini,
my
and
God.
this is 9 pool, right, from Sacsri. So you were talking about Mini knowing all the timings. Is he just outright dead to this?
Well, he's dead.
Oh, what? Well,
I mean,
you know, Mini's got really good control. Maybe he can hold with pros, but this is going to be really tough to hold.
yeah, like I said, I mean, someone was asking to Mini, can 12 Nexus 12 Forge defend against Overpool, and Mini said he can. He said he cannot defend, but this is more a bad situation for him. I mean, this is 9 pool speedling instead of Overpool.
Yeah, we're not even talking about overpool. 9 pool coming at him, and him seeing the lings.
Oh
you know
my.
he's not. Oh my God, Sacsri didn't see it. Wait, he's going to bottom right, and this may be all the time Mini needs to actually get that cannon. Now he sees the forge. He's gonna scramble to top right, but Mini, I think, will have the SimCity in time. The cannon is about 70% done. I don't know if this is going to complete in time, Scan.
Oh my God! I mean, the Zergling is just too far away, and this. Oh my God! The photon cannon will finish on time, and look at that pro! Look at that pro! One of the pro will fall. Oh no!
Well, this is heartbreaking for Sacsri. If he was to watch the replay, he would know that if he had just gone to top middle instantly, he probably would have just won the game outright with these lings. He still manages to sneak in 2 lings, but okay, well, I mean, 2 lings into the main can deal a lot of damage. Pro versus drone, he cannot lose this drone, cannot lose it, and he loses that also.
Too lucky with the probe, and that probe did win that fight. 2 Zergling is still buying some time, but oh my God, I mean, Mini is just gonna be easily recovering from this damage that he has been taking with this double Nexus. And what can Sacsri do in this game?
Yeah, he's got double Nexus versus a Zerg that's still on 1 hatch. Both of the lings die, and you're just gonna see Mini supply shoot up insanely fast compared to Sacsri's. I mean, Sacsri, yeah, I realize he's going to have 3 hatches in just a second, but he's going to have to manage his drones and his lings, because you know Mini's going to be out on the map with even just 1 or 2 zealots. And you know, Sylphid does have those small gaps between the minerals. We just saw it at the 3rd base, and here he comes. This is just 2 zealots, but I mean, there's only 2 lings for Sacsri.
Well, I'm seeing the Vespene gas is at the odd number, so that means he did cancel the lair tag. I think he did cancel the lair tag. It should not be.
Yeah,
it should not be the odd number.
Yeah, he had to have canceled it, so he knows that he's got to use all of his resources going into those lings and drones just to not die. The zealots are in position onto the 3rd base, and there he goes. He's into that gap that I was just talking about. Sacsri's just flat out never going to trade effective versus these zealots. He may consider just ling flooding the natural. I don't really know what he can do. His eco is in shambles. Look at him, just at 18 supply. We're already 5 minutes into the game. Hydrogen coming down. But this is just going to be an all-in Hydra play. And if it doesn't work, Mini's going to be just in a phenomenal position.
Yeah, those 2 Zala will be just standing at the beyond of the mineral, and Sacsri, he needs to do something about it, and he didn't start the lair tech, so he does have the Hydra Den here. He's probably gonna be committing into all-in build. He does have 9 drone at the main, 4 drones at the net, and then 1 drone at 1 or 2 drone at the 3rd expansion. So it is going to be 9, 4, 2, and that should be more than enough to have enough drone to probably make lots of Hydralists here.
Yeah, and what these zealots also do is they have a vision of the larva. So if he ever sees a Hydra pop out, he knows that a Hydra bust is coming. So that means Sacsri can never use this larva to help him with an attack. Lings find 3 zealots, and this is actually good surface area for the Ling. So this is 1 step towards in the right direction for Sacsri. Okay, he snuck out 3 Hydras. Zealot's going to move into the natural. Not going to see anything unusual, but he will come into the main and say, hey, oh, he does see that Hydra, though. And now he knows what's going on.
No, drone is getting sniped. And I want to see how many photon cannons being made. 2, okay. He's making more.
Well, he does need a decent amount of photon cannons because Sacsri does have a decent chunk of lings to soak up hits. But I would say around 5 is probably all he needs. 2 Sayers out on the map also, so he's going to have to be very careful with his overlords. 1 single supply block could end the game. Hydra's moving into position. Those cannons are really close to the forging gateway. Almost gets that overlord. And a sneaky zealot gets into the natural. This may just trigger the GG because Sacsri has absolutely nothing in his main.
This is just painful to watch for Sacsri. I mean, this drone is just keep getting assassinated, and those Hydralists, I think those Hydralists have the range upgrade. He wants to calculate the range, but does not work out. GG is called. Sacsri taps out. Mini. Luckily, he survived. He did lose the build order strategy fight, the battle, and it's just kind of unlucky for Sacsri that he went in the wrong direction.
Yeah, he had a cheekish grin on his face because Mini knows if those lings go to top middle, he's probably dead and eliminated from the tournament. Sacsri, he had a good build order, but the Overlord just slightly too slow. Unfortunate for him, so I'm a bit sad to see him eliminated. But I am happy that Mini's going to be moving on because when you think of the absolute best Protoss these days, there's only one name that comes to mind, and it is Mini. So if he hadn't been eliminated, I would have been very, very sad for the Protoss going into the round of 16 and beyond. But that means Best and Mini do move on, so you've already got 2 Protoss moving into the next round.
And I think we'll be moving into the winners' interviews momentarily. And Sacsri is just cleaning up his equipment. And looks like Mini did stand up. He will be going for the interview soon. And let's hear what he wants to say. Okay. We are back with the interview. The winners interview, ASL Season 14 Round.24 Group A. The second player who will be advancing into round of 16, that will be Mini. Congratulations. And we would like to talk about the decider match, the final match against Sacsri, because it is best of 1. How and what made you to decide to go for the Nexus first build? So Mini is saying that he's kinda felt great that he plays really well, like defending the Zergling rush today. So he wasn't expecting Sacsri would be playing 9 speedling, but it was kinda lucky for him that the Zergling went to the wrong side. Yeah, we saw from the observer, spectator's point of view, the Zergling went to the wrong side. We were thinking Sacsri was probably expecting of the Pro Scout probably doing the Gateway Scout into second Scout at the 8 o'clock. So probably Sacsri got messed up there. It was kind of lucky. It was kind of lucky that he spawned at the 12 o'clock side, because 12 o'clock side is one of the spawning locations where you can defend the Hydraless rush easily. And also, he's just pretty much out of his mind. He wasn't expecting of 9 pull. And thing was just kind of lucky for him. Everything was just completely lucky for him. He could have just got eliminated easily if the Zergling just went into his base, but the Zergling went to the wrong side. There's a cameraman like showed your cam that you were smiling from your eyes. why were you smiling?
될 거란
And
생각이 들긴 해요.
Meaning
생각이
saying
납니다.
that,
변현재 선수가 늘
was kinda lucky
최종전을
there
통해서
with the
한
build
계단
order
한 계단
fight,
올라갔을
and
때 높은 곳까지
with this
올라갔던 기억이
with
나는데
this
또 그런
luck,
좋은
with this
징크스를
fortune, he
떠올리셨군요.
thinks that he will
그래서
be
이제 그렇게 올라가면 솔직히
climbing up higher in
좋겠다라고도
this ASL Season
생각했거든요.
14.
이제 게임도 한 게임 더 하는 거고 좀 힘들게 올라가면 16강이랑 8강을 좀 더 잘 준비할 수도
So
있는
if
것
he-
같고
So if
결과적으로는
he
잘된것 같아요.
has
아이, 그래도
something like a
단판에서 이렇게 힘들게
tough
올라가는데,
scenario or tough moment in this
정말
tournament,
팬분들은 심장을 좀
he kind of feels
잡았을
like
것 같아요.
he will be playing better
변현재
in this
선수의
ASL Season
이런
14 because
예측하기
he gets to
힘든
play.
플레이 덕분에 24강 개막전이
He gets to
조금 더
play and
풍성해졌던
more
것
experience,
같은데요.
like having more
앞으로
experience
그러면
of playing on an
기대해봐도 좋을
offline
경기력일
stage.
것 같거든요. 변현재
So-
선수 각오가 어떠세요?
That's nice thing for him.
제가 항상
Any last word?
이제 24강 최종전으로 제가 단판이다 보니 좀 옛날엔 단판을 자신 있어 했는데
He used to be very confident of this best of one matchup in the round of
힘들게 올라가는
24,
것 같은데
but
이제 힘들게 올라간 만큼
nowadays he
공부
kind of feels
깊이
something
올라가야 될 것
nervous
같아요.
because a lot of players are very strong too. and very sharp, play style might be able to take him down as well in the best of one series. So
일단은
it's kind of glad that he made it into round of 16.
분들이 이제 오셔가지고 응원해 주시는데
Any last word to your fans and audience?
16강도
And he says,
많은 분들이랑
thank you for coming by and coming to the studio, watching his ASL round of 24 match.
공준이 형이
He recently joined
많이
Muchin
배려를
University,
해주더라고요.
the Brittany School.
그리고 이제 또 토스 코치
He wants to say thanks to his teammate Rain, Wachi,
다들 이제 제가 좀 ASL
Ruin,
좋아하고 이제 많이 배려를
Brittany,
해줘가지고
and some other members as well. He wants to say thank you to them and supporting his game.
변현재 선수의 멋진 모습 이번
And
시즌에도
thank you for
기대해
rooting his
보겠습니다.
game
다시 한번
to his
16강 진출
audience too as
축하드립니다.
well. And congratulations once again, you made it into round of
자,
16.
이렇게 해서
Congratulations,
24강
we'll see you
개막전
again.
경기 오늘의 두 번째
And thank you
진출자
for the interview.
변현재 선수와 함께했습니다.
And we're about to get a rundown of today's games. We saw Mini take out Oregon. Best took down Sacsri. Then Best took down Mini. Looked like it was going to be a win for Mini after his DT, but the counter DT drop ended up sealing the deal. Then Sacsri took down Oregon. And then finally Mini taking down Sacsri despite Sacsri having the build order advantage.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking to know Sacsri went to the wrong direction. It's probably a lot of Protoss fans probably happy that Mini did survive in this round of 24, and we are going to be looking at this round of 24 Group B, the duel tournament. It is going to be cast tomorrow, same time at 7 p.m. And Hero, Gamo, Shuttle, Barracks, and Barracks is one of the players who eliminated in the day 2 qualifier in the final. So I kind of want him to play well in this group stage because he took me down. He took my life away. So I want to see how far he's gonna be climbing up. I'll be cheering for him.
Yeah, Gameo, we always see him make it into the ASL, but he doesn't really have deep runs, so it would be nice to see him make it into the next round at least. We've got one Terran here, so of course can be rooting for Barracks. However, you see the left side of the group. I think those are the favorites for the group. Hero, he's just an absolute madman. He's amazing. He's an amazing Zerg. And then Shuttle. I mean, Shuttle's always great. He's got fantastic macro, fantastic micro. I think they're going to be really tough to eliminate.
But it's also something that we have to know is ZVZ best of one matchup. We don't know whether Hero or Gamo will be winning against Hero as well. And also, we know how strong Gamo's Zerg versus Protoss matchup is. Like we have seen him taking down Snow in the round of 24 2 times, like in a first match and then a decider match. And Snow didn't survive from the last season. And I think the Group B is going to be very tough for everyone except for Hero.
Yeah, I think I can agree with it. I think Shuttle and Barracks and Gamo are similarly matched, but I think I like Shuttle a little bit more. I mean, in my opinion, he's slightly ahead, but Barracks, he's very good too. I saw he went and visited Light. I'm sure you watched the video of him visiting Light and getting some advice on Light's YouTube channel. If Gamo can take down Hero, remember it's the best of one like you stated, and then he can somehow get Shuttle in the winners match, there is a real shot that Gamo could get out in first place. But yeah, I think the man to beat for sure is Hero. He's just so strong every single season in ASL.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of glad to know and glad to see the audience are once again here at the studio and watching the game. I mean, you can feel the atmosphere. Okay, it looks like the caster is done wrapping it up, and thanks for watching.
Yep, that's going to be it for day one, guys. I'm glad to be back. You can see that, well, you can see the studio. There were fans there earlier, so if you are in Seoul, consider trying to come and see an ASL game. You can definitely get tickets, and we'll be back tomorrow with Group B. See you there.